Dos y tres. All right, everybody. Welcome to a brand new episode of Tacos en Europa. And we have a different episode. We have a special episode. We have an extra episode. This is Tacos. This is Tacos to go. This is Tacos to go. And this is just an exercise where we're going to talk about where we would like to see the players go. And this is just a warning sign. You know, we're just trying to start out the video.
It's just wish fulfillment. We wish this could be.
Footnote here, just letting you know, we don't know anybody. We're not starting any rumors. We don't want you guys to be like, oh, Tacos en Europa said that Tecatito was going to go to Real Madrid. No, like, we're not saying anything. Like, we're just saying where we would think that would fit the most, where we think that would shine the best, and our opinions, you know, so you guys can get a little sense of the type of players that we have and what we think about them.
Yeah.
But other than that, we might come up with a couple rumors that we've heard, but other than that, there's nothing concrete.
Yeah.
Before we get started with all that, I want to let you guys know that you guys can follow us on all types of social media. We got Instagram, we got Reddit, we got Twitter, we got Facebook, we got
everything else.
Just go ahead and look up Tacos en Europa and you will find us, and make sure to chat with us. Give us a follow, and you already know how that works. We also can hear us on YouTube and on any other podcast platforms, whichever one is for everyone. Just look up Tacos en Europa as well. Make sure you give us a subscription. Make sure you give us a like. Make sure you give us a comment. Let us know what you want to hear on the next episode, and if you like this special content as well. Damn. All right. So let's start with the actual content of the video now. Starting off with the players that we believe should stay in the clubs. So like the people that are going to fit the best where they are already, they don't really need a move. If it does happen, it is what it is, but we think that would fit here. Starting off with Andrés Guardado. He should stay in Betis. I believe he already extended for one more year, so that's all said and done. Captain, team idol, the people love him. He shouldn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Now, Tecatito Corona, who is in Sevilla right now, we think it's the best place for him. He just needs to rehabilitate a little more, stay there a little longer. They're going to play Champions League. So obviously it's a good place for him. And he obviously has placed space to play. You know, I don't think they have many people that could play above him right now. Or he at the very least could be a bench player. But I think he's going to get some good minutes though.
Yeah.
Ochoa, obviously Salernitana. It looks like his extension might be already signed. But either way, even before that happened, we wanted to see him there because, yeah, he'd go to Milan. He'd go be the second keeper at like a big team. But what's that going to do? You know, we need to see him get minutes. We need to see him fight, you know, and even if he's getting scored on, even if he's getting like abused by the defense.
To keep being shot at from every angle, because that's going to happen in the World Cup.
Exactly. And we need to just see him fight against that because, surprise, we have no keepers. He's our only keeper. So we need to keep him in form for about a couple years more. So Salernitana, I think it was a great move. Hopefully he stays there a couple more years. And also, they love him. They love him there. He's already a fan favorite. Jorge Sanchez in Ajax, because number one, there's not much places to go. He's a little expensive. His salary's a little high. And I think not many people in Holland want him right now. But I think Ajax is still a good team for him to be. Maybe a change of position could be warranted, maybe into the midfield. You know, they always experiment a little bit with the players. And he has been really good when he's moving the ball up the midfield. So obviously he's going to have a new coach. He's going to have a full preseason, like you like to say in all the podcasts. So I think Ajax for him is just the right move to just stay. And hopefully he can get a couple more minutes.
Yeah, give it another try.
Yeah, give it one more try. Hopefully they don't give up.
Hopefully with a better coach.
Yes, hopefully. We're not assured anything yet, though. Jordan Carrillo with Sporting. This one's already another one that's already been assured. He is going to stay here for the 23-24 season. And again, we already had it run down before it even happened because we want to see Jordan Carrillo develop a little more here. I think he fit really well on this team. He's one of those like up-and-coming youngsters that they can use. And I think next season he's going to get way more minutes because they loved him. You know, if they can get a good start to the season and just get a little bit of a high table, I think he can be able to see those youngster minutes that they usually give them. You know, in the second half, a couple starts here and there. Like, this guy's a baller, man. I think he can really give them a good quality, like, amount of minutes.
Yeah, and the same. Maybe a good preseason could, unlock.
Yeah, unlock him. And then Jesus Hernandez is going to be the last one with Elche. He's in the B team for them right now, playing for the Youth League. And the thing about this is that Elche actually went down to the second division of Spain, the main team.
They were relegated.
So that means that there's a possibility that Jesus Hernandez could get called up to the senior team to play in Division 2 because he balled out in the youth league,
in the
man. He had
youth. Yeah.
like double-digit goals with like 8 games or something like that. It was an insane amount of goals that he scored. So maybe this can make a little bit of noise for them to at least give him like some bench time, or call up to training with the first team, things like that. And it's a second division, man. It is still professional, but you're gonna see like a big dip in quality from the first league. So I don't think it's like a weird thing to say that he could play in that league.
No, and you have to remember they were relegated, so they might sell a bunch of players that are high on the wage list. So maybe there creates some space for him, either on the bench or maybe even a starter
Yeah.
if they really sell too much.
We're gonna try to keep our fingers crossed for that one, but that one looks like a very, very good path for him, and I think luck is on his
Yeah.
side for now. So hopefully it keeps like that. Let's move on to the next segment, which is gonna be the players who could change teams, but if they don't, it's not that big of a deal. You know what I mean? So yes or no, it doesn't matter. So let's start with Jesus Alcántar, central defender right now playing in the youth team for Sporting in Portugal. ENG. What do you think about this guy?
Well, before we begin, they've been saying he might actually be on the way back to Necaxa. Actually,
Mhm.
no, they're not gonna extend the loan because it was a loan deal. But what we saw of him was pretty good. So we thought maybe he should stay with Sporting, but maybe even change to some other place like Barcelona Athletic with Rafa Marquez.
Yeah.
We heard some rumors that Rafa liked him and might try to call him up. That was a choice, and maybe he could have been either bench or an option for another kind of team in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
I mean, AZ Alkmaar, they could have been a bench player or even a starter for them.
Yeah, for
Some
me,
kind
I
of
think
team in that low, maybe.
I think Netherlands is a little bit of a step too high. 19-year-old defender right now, and I know 19-year-olds do shine a little bit in that league. Xavi Simons, obviously baller, but I think for him right now, a good move would be to stay in a second division team, in a youth division team. I think the
Yeah.
best possible move would be that Barcelona Athletic move.
Yeah.
Rafa Marquez right now, he's doing really, really great with the team. So if he's able to promote them, I think they might give him a more say in what he wants. Give him more say in the players that he can get. So I don't know, we might see some Mexicans in that team next season.
Hopefully.
We'll have to see. Hopefully. Fingers crossed to a good result here to finish off the season for him. Santiago Jimenez, for you guys that don't know, obviously I know most of you guys know, but striker right now for Feyenoord, 22 years old.
Yeah, this one's it's like in everybody's mouth right now. We want Santi to go to Real Madrid. That's what Hugo Sanchez said. No.
Yeah.
He said he could be. Chiringuito even said something like that. So there's might be some big club calling, might, but I at least think he should stay in Feyenoord. Like the coach is there. The coach is not gonna leave. That was a big factor. If he should leave, is because the coach left.
Yeah.
But I feel he could also go to a league where he can get minutes against not that hard of defenses. Like the Bundesliga.
Okay.
Like Haaland did the same jump from Austria to Bundesliga. So maybe
That'd be interesting.
Leipzig, Eintracht, and Mönchengladbach are gonna sell strikers. So maybe to those places, I don't know if they could afford him, but maybe.
Yeah. I like a lot the move that potentially Kokshu is making to Portugal, because I think it's like a lateral move, very slightly higher lateral move, and then you got obviously those like reflectors in you, that he's gonna go to like a league with the same quality, but he's gonna have more visual for a couple more seasons, and then get sold to like a way bigger team for much more money. So I like that as well.
I do not like that because you think it's a lateral move, but what is gonna happen is if you're a striker on Portugal, you're gonna play against worse defenders than Eredivisie. That's the thing. The second half of the table in Portugal is worse than Eredivisie.
Yeah,
and
so
that's not great for strikers because you need competition.
But because for us, the thing is that we want him to stay at Feyenoord. Like both of us, I didn't say that, but I want to see him stay at Feyenoord because he needs to develop a little more. I don't think he's ready to get that Real Madrid move. Like, obviously, if they come calling, you're not gonna say no because like they're not gonna ask you twice. But like, he's not ready for that. United or anything like that.
But you're Mbappe, they're gonna ask.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah, they're gonna ask you 5 times, maybe more. But for Feyenoord, like, yeah, if he can stay a little longer, see if he can ball out with a Koksu being like behind him. See if he can be that first priority for the target man.
Yeah.
You know, things like that. I would love that. But if he does have to move, I think a little lateral move like that can give him, you know, another season to develop in a not such great league, it would be good for him right now. But we'll see what happens with him. Hopefully he makes the right decision. I think he has a good team behind him, so they'll make the best decision possible. I believe. I'm confident in that.
Yeah, both in Feyenoord and on his, you know.
Yeah,
like,
I mean his team, like his circle, like his dad and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I think they're gonna make the right choice for him. Eric Gutierrez, 27-year-old defensive midfielder, right now for PSV.
Yeah, PSV just fired Van Nistelrooy, who didn't like. Who didn't like Eric Gutierrez? You know, like we forgot to say that in the Spanish version.
Yeah.
But still, Eric feels like he's very close to his ceiling. So if he stays in Europe, I don't feel he's gonna get much better than PSV. You know. So maybe he could go to Benfica and be a role player for Robert Schmidt, who loved him. He used him for everything, like center back, midfielder, everything.
Mm-hmm.
So that could be a natural like career path for him. You know, that's a very important position, but it doesn't shine, and it might stop him from getting called to the national, because now you're a bench player.
Yeah,
and that doesn't look great. But on the other hand, he could also go to a really to a slower league, like maybe in Serie A. It's a little slower. He could be in the lower part of the table, you know, like Verona, Empoli, Torino, maybe that's a little higher. And he could go to Salernitana. We know they need defenders.
Yeah, they definitely need help in the midfield and in the central defender side. He can play both also. And imagine next to Memo Ochoa, you know, help him out a little bit, get that chemistry coming on. I think that would be great. Also, we don't want to talk too much about Mexico, but he's a special case because to me, Eric Gutierrez is a bench player for the national team. I think he will be great for you coming in the 60th, 70th minute, you know, holding down a lead or like helping you create a little bit more. So if he did go to Chivas, I would not be too mad at it. I want him to stay in Europe. But if he did land in Chivas, I think that would help him, you know, establish his place still in the national team. And they'll keep him in form because they've had that great season right now. The coach looks like he's doing a great job. I think he will mix very well with the players as well. He knows a lot of them. So that wouldn't be a terrible move for him. This is the only Mexican that I wouldn't be mad if he goes to Mexico. And other than that, yeah, I agree with you. Serie A, Salernitana, something like that. Benfica would probably be the best moves for Eric Gutierrez.
Yeah.
Johan Vázquez, 24-year-old center back. Right now, Serie A in Cremonese, but he's going back to Genoa, who own his card.
Yeah, he's going to Genoa where he stay. You know, they're gonna fight to stay up this time on Serie A. That's a good enough, you know, like place for him. That's okay.
Yeah.
But he improved so much, especially on the ball, that I would like him to go to a team that has a little more possession. You know, like not like Inter or Napoli, but big enough. Like maybe he could go to Udinese, to Torino, both in Italy, obviously. Maybe we could drip Atalanta, maybe on the bench. Those are good places for him, especially because those three teams use 3 center backs.
Yeah.
And that's where he shines. You know, he's so good at running the channels as well as a center back that he can play that special position of a center back that needs to cover a little more space, you know?
Yeah, I think it would be great. Yeah, I think we're in like agreement here that he should stay in Italy for sure.
Yeah.
Perfectly for him right now. Yeah, Genoa would be a good spot. Like I think they're gonna come back up and regroup and go about it a little differently. So hopefully, you know, they have all the tools that they need to do. I think Genoa will be a good move, but obviously I would love to see him in a maybe mid-table to like high to mid-table team. That would be great as well. Chucky Lozano, 27-year-old winger right now for Napoli. And again, we put him in a player that could stay because I don't think it would be terrible to see him at Napoli. But how do you see
the champions.
Yeah, Champions League.
No, they are the champions.
Oh yeah, they are champions and they have Champions League. But how do you see
Oh,
Chucky?
should be, as you said, he could stay and become this like important part of the attack, like still be part of this trident that might be disassembled, who knows? But he could also flip and take a little bit of a step back and go to a team that's gonna need him more.
Yeah.
Like become a star for a little bit of a worse team.
Yeah.
Maybe even the Premier League. He wouldn't look out of place in somewhere like Aston Villa, maybe with Emery. He will be a big part of the attack of somewhere like Betis. That's a really good team and really well coached. So he might have a place there. They use inverted wingers that really shine. So could be, and even Dortmund's gonna lose some attackers this summer, so maybe he could go as a left winger. That he could read.
The one that you have here, Dortmund, I like that one a lot because they do need the offensive, and even if Edson goes there, that'd be a cool partnership to see as well. But yeah, I think Napoli wouldn't be too bad if he stays. But the thing is that he does have to delegate more. He does have to be the creator and not be. We want to see him go back to being that lethal left winger that's gonna give us goals in the national team. He still plays in the national team, but he hasn't practiced it, so it's not coming out. So hopefully
he's
he
not
can
a finisher as more.
Hopefully he can go back to a team where he can get that dog back in him. Now moving to the next segment, we're gonna have the Mexicans that need to change teams. We ASAP need to see them in a different jersey with a different shield on their chest. We're gonna start off with Raúl Jiménez, 32-year-old striker right now for Wolves.
Yeah, he needs to move. Raúl, the Mexican Wolf, needs to find a new den right now. And we know that there's going to be a lot of the usual suspects for old players, Besiktas, Galatasaray, especially if they move. What is the Argentinian striker they have right now?
Who?
Icardi.
Yeah.
And especially if they move those players. So he needs to move. But he could even go back to Benfica. He played there. That could be a role as an older, substitution player, the last 40 minutes. But I feel he will shine in the place where every Premier League player that didn't shine gets a time to really find his place, and that's Ajax. Their whole attack is full of Premier League has-beens, and they can look really good. So maybe.
Oh man,
nobody sucks. We know, so he could fit there.
I mean, I like that. I think Ajax for me is the one that would be cool to hear. I think it's a league that's it's a step down from the Premier League. Obviously,
it's a big step
down from the Premier League. And you can have that room to be a little better. You're playing Champions League, you're competing in Champions League. You get back on that mental block that you've had. And another league that I like to see more Mexicans is the French Ligue 1. You have a team like Lille, if they sell Jonathan David, who's a great player as well, they could look to get somebody maybe temporary for a little while. They could get someone like Raúl Jiménez, who can give them, a little bit more confidence, and hopefully, he can get that dog back. That's what we want for him. We want him to get that player that we used to see just for a couple more years.
Because people keep saying he's not the same physically. I feel he's really good right now on the physical aspect. It's all mental.
Yeah.
He just needs to score a couple of goals and get back on it.
And you're back.
He just doesn't have the will to shoot right now. That's what I see.
I think, to me, best case scenario, he comes back, he gives you a good couple of seasons in Europe. He's a bench player at the World Cup. To me.
Yeah.
To me. But we'll have to see. We just need to see if he turns it back on. But the next one is going to be Marcelo Flores, 19-year-old winger/midfielder that he's right now in Oviedo, but it looks like he's going back to Arsenal's youth team.
Yeah, he needs to go.
Yeah, that's probably the best place for him to go. We won't keep it short for that one. Cesar Montes, 26-year-old center back right now for Espanyol, the recently relegated Espanyol.
Yeah, Cesar Montes, the Cub, as they call him.
El cachorro, say with your chest.
Cachorro. Yeah, he needs to move because Espanyol is gonna go in the second division and he's ready for to step up.
Yeah,
To go to a big team, to have big expectations, especially to play with possession. I feel that's what hurt him a little on Espanyol. He's really good with the ball, so he wouldn't look out of place with Sevilla, especially this Sevilla. Like
yeah,
put him on the starter
especially Sevilla.
11, and I say he looks fine. You know, then maybe we could lean him a little bit higher. I would like him to go to Atletico Madrid. I know
Yeah,
he will be benched, but I would really like to see what kind of player Cholo Simeone can turn him into. That's the big dream. Even though there's been rumors, there's been like a little bit of gossip about him going to Mallorca, like Vasco Aguirre calling for him. He already know him from his stunt as the Monterrey manager, so
hmm
that would be really good for him. But man, I want a dream.
yeah. I mean, he's again not as close to Alvarez as we want, like dream the best scenario, but he is one of like the better pieces that we have, and it'd be cool to see him in one of
Yeah,
those big teams. But I think Mallorca's not a bad move. I think Vasco
yeah,
Aguirre, the trainer, you're gonna get the minutes, you're gonna play well. You're most likely not gonna get relegated, and
yeah.
their goal is gonna be Conference League at least next season. Maybe Europa League I think is gonna be harder, but I think Conference League is gonna be a good shot for them. So hopefully they can achieve that if he gets there. And in general for Vasco Aguirre, I hope he can get to a European competition. It'd be really cool to see him there. And for sure, you get to keep your job. So the next
That's
one's
good.
gonna be the next one's gonna be Gerardo Arteaga, a 24-year-old left fullback. He cannot stay there any longer. I think
Yeah,
he had his moments, but it's time to make a move. I think it's one of those days, one of those things where it's like you just need to have a change of pace. You need to see differently. I'm not asking for him to go to the Premier League, not even La Liga. Like if it is La Liga, like a low bottom team. But I don't know, man. How do you see Arteta?
I feel like Thiago is not is not ready for a big move, but he has to move, which is hard.
Yeah,
I feel going to a strong team on the Eredivisie might fit him. Like if he went to Ajax for a really low price, he could shine maybe, but I don't know. Maybe a little bit of a lower team like AC Alkmaar. That will
yeah.
be his better spot. You know him better than I do, so I don't
He's
know what
I
to
think
say.
he's the trickiest one out of all of them. Because like you said, he needs a move, but like where? And to me, my go-to when it's like a player that needs to develop a little more, that needs to
Whenever I don't know,
represent,
send him to France.
send them the league on, bro. I think it's just such a good league for develop. I want to see more Mexicans there, man. Like they literally
But you
call it the
don't have any
Farmers League.
money to buy Mexicans.
That's the thing, man. But he's not from Mexico. He would be sold from Genk. So it's a difference for him. He has that doorway where it could be a possibility. Him and Jimenez both have that possibility. So it's not gonna be too expensive. It'll be a good thing. Genk were a really good team this year, so they have those reflectors already on them. I think it'd be a good move for him. You got Montpellier and Toulouse who don't have really good fullbacks at the moment. So yeah, like a mid-table Ligue 1 team would be good for him. And then you're still getting those reps up to continue and follow in the Champions League. Now, if you get a better move in a couple seasons, then that's just up to you. Make sure you're balling out. But I think France for Arteaga would be a good move.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
The next one's going to be Orbelin Pineda, 27-year-old midfielder, offensive midfielder. He does everything, man. Wherever do you want to go,
Outfielder.
outfielder, whatever you want to put him. Where would you see him? Right now, he's leaving from AEK Athens back to Celta Vigo because they are the owners of his car.
Yeah, he can go anywhere. Like he can fit in almost every system, every league. Obviously, he's not up to go to a big team, but he could go to a lot of places. If you want him to go to Feyenoord to strengthen one of the leading players, he could go. He could play winger. He could play midfielder. He could play the Simalski role, the Cockshoe role. He could play anything.
Yeah.
Maybe you want him to stay in Spain. He could go to Mallorca with Vasco Aguirre as well.
That cool.
There's a place he could actually fit in. Why not? He could go to Italy. He could play with Fiorentina, Sassuolo. He could. So that's the thing. He can go everywhere because he's that versatile. I would like him to stay on Spain, maybe to maybe fight for the passport, maybe, but who knows?
Yeah, I think for me it'd be Spain, anywhere in Spain, or like I think he's good enough for a team that's a conference Europa League level, like competing conference Europa League level. I think he'd be good for any of those
Maybe,
teams.
maybe conference.
I think Europa League a little bit, like maybe a little less of competing, but like a group stage Europa League at the least.
Because you say, Europa League, you send him to Betis, he's gonna warm the bench.
Okay, I'm not saying like a winner or like a contender, but like a competing,
Yeah.
something like that. And Conference League for sure. And I think Spain will be a good one. As much as it pains me, man. As much as it pains me to say it, if he does stay in Celta Vigo, like,
It
is
could
that
be
really
worse.
the end of the world? Yeah, is that really the end of the
Yeah.
world? Like, yeah, fuck them for what they did. I hate them. I hope he doesn't stay there for what they
Yeah,
did.
the coach is long gone.
Yeah.
Like that's like 2 coaches ago.
Yeah, but still, it was the directive still had a little bit to do with it. You know what I mean? But still, like, he could have a home there if he needed to. It wouldn't be the end of the world. But yeah, I think that's probably the best situation for him. Something in Spain, something nice. I think he's a really good player and very, very high quality. But the last player we're going to talk about is the best one. I don't want to say the juiciest one because that sounds weird, but the most exciting one, Edson Alvarez.
The rapist, the
The
moistest one.
Hey, man, it's a family podcast, man. Edson Alvarez, 25-year-old defensive midfielder, currently at Ajax. Where do you want to see him, Miguel?
I want to see him in a Champions League. That's the thing. And not only a Champions League team, but a Champions League team that gets out of the group stage.
Mhm.
That's where I think he is in his career. Maybe he's not ready to go to a team that fights actually for the title, but gets a little further.
Yeah.
And I feel Edson can add a lot to a lot of teams. He could be the next defensive center back from Liverpool. They don't have that much money. He's not all that expensive. Could go there. Maybe they need to strengthen those spaces. Also, the center backs, he plays both. Maybe he could go to Atletico Madrid. I want to see every defensive player Mexico has in Atletico Madrid. They make great defensive players, so I would like him there. But we're dancing around it. He could go to Manchester United as well because Ten Hag knows him, even though he will be Casemiro's bench, and that's not a bad place to be. But we're dancing around the thing that there's
The
been
elephant
like
in the
3
room.
Yeah, there's been like 3 weeks saying he's going to go to Bayern, to Dortmund,
Yeah.
even though Bayern Munich said they might like him, but he's probably gonna go to Bayern to Dortmund.
They're saying it's a stall because, like, obviously they're talking whatever, but they're saying it might be a stall because he's waiting to see what other offers he gets, because they want to wrap it up quick. But like, he's in no
the
rush.
Dortmund
Like,
likes to get their
yeah, and
business
he's
done
in no rush.
early.
Like, if you got like a West Ham calling him, maybe that's not too bad. If you got, like you said, that Liverpool thing, I don't think they're looking for him, but that would be a good fit. We didn't talk about that in the Spanish one. Man United, if he goes to Man United to be Casemiro's bench / a center back for Ten Hag, like, what? Casemiro got like 2 more years in Manchester United before Saudi Arabia comes calling again? Like, come on. Man.
Casemiro is gonna stay there like 45, like Thiago Silva.
You think he's
I
gonna
can
say
see
no
it.
to $1 billion from Saudi Arabia?
Hey, Casemiro is really.
I mean, he has a lot of heart. He has a lot of heart.
Yeah.
I'll give you that. But like, I think he has a couple places where he could go. I think this is the most interesting player. And like you said, the most important thing here is that Edson Alvarez is the one player that we want to see in a Champions League contending team. I'm not talking group stage.
That's the thing, contending. That's the word.
Like, I want to see him like get to like the quarterfinals at the very least, semifinals, something. I want to be able to be like, oh man, like, can we win it?
I dream.
Yeah, I want to be like, can we win another Champions League? So we'll have to see. The closest we had was Chucky Lozano right now, but I think the only player is like Edson Alvarez, who I can confidently say he can play for a Champions League contending team.
Yeah, maybe Santiago Jimenez could be a Joe.
In a couple of years.
No, he could be a good option for a big team. Like a substitution that you're preparing for two years ahead.
Yeah, but if you're talking about 90 minutes, like no rest,
that's the
every
only
single
one.
game, Edson Alvarez, bro. But that's all we have for the current Mexicans in Europe. Now we just want to talk real quick about Liga MX and some of the players that have that age already to move to the next, to the other side of the world. So we're going to first start with Cruz Azul, who have Eric Lira, 23 years old, and Rodrigo Huescas, 19 years old. Santos has...
Both of those had rumors to go to Europe.
Yeah, both
as
those
well.
already had a couple noise coming in. Santos has Omar Campos, 20 years old, and Salvador Mariscal. Omar Campos had a couple buzz coming in, I think, earlier. Monterrey, Victor Guzman, 21 years old, who to me is one of the players in this list who is the most ready to go. I think he's
A regular for the national team as well.
Yeah, he's a baller. He plays good in the national team and in Monterrey right now, so it'd be crazy to see him there. Atlas, we have Osiel Herrera and Yermi Marquez, 22 years old each. And again, Osiel is another one that I would like to see go very, very soon. America has Santiago Naveda, you know, our fan favorite here at Tacos en Europa. We love to see him, man.
Yeah,
I think
the leg breaker.
The leg breaker. You were saying that he wants to stay in Europe, so he wants to go back.
Yeah,
he doesn't want to go back to America yet. So
he wants to stay somewhere in Europe, and I feel he could.
Wherever they take him, man. Wherever they take him, it'd be great. Israel Reyes, 22 years old as well. Toluca has Marcel Ruiz, 22 years old, and León has Fidel Ambriz, 20 years old.
I feel this one. This is the real.
That's your guy.
Diamond in the rough. I feel this one is the one that could actually shine, especially in Eredivisie.
Yeah.
He could be a starter in every of the big three teams right now.
The thing is, he's in León, so that takes away from like the reflectors, you know, and like the visual that he gets.
Even though they just won the CONCACAF
Champions, you're right. So maybe he could get a little bit of viewing.
He did
from
really
that.
well there.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Messi might bring a little bit of reflectors on us. You never know. But yeah, I mean, hopefully, maybe he needs to make a lateral move before he makes a move up. So we'll have to see what happens with Fidel Ambriz. Querétaro has Rafa Fernandez, 22 years old. Necaxa has Heriberto Jurado, 18 years old. And Pachuca has a difficult one, Eric Sanchez, 23 years old, who is looking a little difficult for him. We don't think it's going to happen, but again, this is all just a dream list. We would like to see any of these players go.
Yeah, and he's the one that has the most call-ups to the National League. I think maybe alongside Guzman. He's great, but he's really short.
Yeah. Like, if you're talking about deserved, if you're talking about deserving it, he's probably the most that deserves it.
But I mean, he's like 5'4" or something like this. He will need like the stairs to get on the bus.
He's literally nicknamed El Chiquito, bro. So it's like, and then we have like the Chavo Rucos, you know, the old youngsters that could go or like that we would like to see go, which we have a list of. Luis Chavez, who is the closest one in the list.
The better
actually
one
might
as
happen.
well.
The best one. It actually might happen. Who knows yet? Luis Romo, Jesus Gallardo. We're gonna explain it a little bit. Uriel Antuna and Kevin Alvarez, who looks like the opportunity just died.
Yeah, but I mean, I know a lot of people hate Gallardo, but his contract was about to end this year, and they just extended for another year. But I mean, he's 27, 28 years old. He could have gone to a middle or lower side of the table in Spain, you know? Like Araujo did when he was on Santos.
Araujo left like late, man, and he stayed a couple years. And
he was really
good.
old.
He was good, man. Like he was good in Celta Vigo. Like no one can tell me otherwise. Yeah, no one can tell me otherwise. And maybe that could have been something that we could have seen. You were talking a lot about going back to Vasco, you know, our reunion in Mallorca. That would have been good, man. Like, and if you, as much as it pains me, because I'm a big Arteaga fan, like if Gallardo gives us 2 good seasons in Spain, like you're going to the World Cup. You're going to start the World Cup again, man. Like, please. So
shine again.
Yeah, like you deserve that if you make that risk. So that would have been cool to see. Jim is dead though. Stays in Monterrey, so it's not gonna happen. But other than that, I think Luis Chavez is gonna have a good shot. Hopefully, Pachuca can help him with that. Man, it's looking a little weird, that relationship right now for some reason.
Yeah, they're trying to sell everything. So who knows?
Yeah, but okay, I think that's all we have left. We're actually going a little over the time that we were expecting, but we'll see you guys in a couple more days on the next in the next
episode. We're talking about the national team friendlies.
Yeah, the next senior team that plays in a senior game. Other than that, guys, I hope you guys have a great week. Thank you guys for listening. We'll see you guys in a couple days.